People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. It's Monday, so I hope everyone's doing well and safe. I hope you all had a great weekend. Hope you had a fantastic week last week. Hope this week is filled with an abundance of joys, people, in your professional and personal lives. As usual, moving that much closer to your goals, hopes, dreams, ambitions, aspirations, overcoming any obstacles in your life, and all the rest of it, people. So yeah, I hope everyone's doing well and safe. Hope everyone started the week strongly. Hope you've all got your health, people, in all aspects of the term, people, you and your loved ones. Again, you know, hopefully this week gives us 6 points. We've got on Saturday Arsenal, us being us, have Brighton. Today is the big one. Crystal Palace, Vieira, Arteta, two former Arsenal midfielders going at it. You know, Patrick Vieira's men are playing well. A number of their players have been selected for international duty. Personally, I think they're lying about the availability of either Eze, Elise, or Zaha. And I'd be amazed if at least one of those three doesn't play. It's going to be a tough night in South London under the lights. Again, looking at the weather in the United Kingdom or in North London, it's absolutely appalling. So it's going to be wet, windy, a day to earn the right to play. And you're just going to have to slug through it, especially considering with the mixed results for other teams during the weekend, with Spurs winning, moving into fourth, obviously patterning their goal difference as well. You saw United and Chelsea drop points. I say Chelsea because third, depending on what happens with us today and what happens with how Chelsea move forward, could present third and fourth up for grabs, which again, if you're United, Spurs, West Ham United or Manchester United, you know, you'd rather that, innit? You know, Liverpool and City, unless an absolute madness happened, and mathematically, is it even still possible? They're not dropping out of the Champions League minimum. They're fighting for the league, etc., etc. So we'll have to see what happens, man. You know, there's 9-10 games, whatever left. Enough said. Like, what more talking is there to do? Whatever narrative you lot want to write, you'll write it. Don't get too excited if you lose. Don't get too excited if you win. Let's just keep balance. Obviously, look at what our rivals are doing, but fundamentally, we need to do what we're doing. And we've been able to beat sides we should be beating. We've been able to keep chugging along. We need to keep going. Today against Crystal Palace, all we need to do is look at the last game. You know, we messed up. We dropped 2 points. Game management, conceding cheap goals, following runners, earning the right to play, managing the first and 10 minutes appropriately. You know, that's all these things. Crystal Palace on the best of days, home and away, have been a bookie team. The last home games have been frustrating. The last away games have been frustrating. Pepe saved us last year. It's a difficult ground to go to for us on the best of days. It's a difficult team. They're going to be good, and they've got technical ability. They've got fight. They've got heart. They've got determination. It is what it is. There's enough of that. Like, if we want to beat Palace today, we need to stand up. And as I've said, when I go through our end of season review, of course, there's many more games. But I think points in particular, I'm very disappointed that we dropped first and foremost home and away. Anytime you drop points from winning positions in the Premier League, you're in trouble. Crystal Palace, we drew against them. They never had Zaha when we played them as well, by the way. Brighton away, you know, we didn't start well. Burnley at home, we didn't break down a low block. Manchester United and Everton away, we took the lead and fell to return home on the motorway with 3 points. These are the games in particular I'm looking at. So again, that was my whole reason for mentioning Crystal Palace at home, because the first thing we need to do is just look at what we did. Other than that, we know what's going on around other teams. We know we're playing last. As much as I advocate just looking at ourselves, these players don't live on an island. Of course, they know what's happened with the Premier League. Just keep doing what you're doing. I hope we've enjoyed the international period. You know, people like Gabriel have become fathers. You know, Arteta's been able to catch his breath. Other players have been rewarded for their decent campaigns with playing for their countries. Let's, you know, tone it down, reset, re-energize, re-strategize, and we go again today. Hit the like button, people. That's as much as I've got to say about Crystal Palace and Arsenal, really. I can't lie. Let me know your opinions. Tomiyasu, these sort of guys, if fit, they're playing. Ramsdale, if fit, he's playing. Simple as that for me. Personally, folks. So yeah, what are you lot saying in the comments? So yeah, what you lot say? Obviously, I've been spamming you lot. Going mad there. Obviously, we're gonna go over the transfers. I can't say I eat them egg spinach pots. It is what it is. Pagans voting Spurs. Hey, everyone's allowed, man. Everyone's allowed. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. Again, away from that. I complained to Sainsbury's for delaying you. Mr. J Sainsbury says it won't happen again. Hey, the line, man. I needed my honey, man. I needed my honey. There's no other window apart from then. And big up the Twitch gang. We was waffling too much this morning. You know, again, I don't want to go over the same things, and I'll re-upload the Twitch stream onto YouTube. But on the best of days, I want James Maddison, especially after performances this weekend. Big up the boy, big up DG. The boys from North London have to come down to South London and grab 3 points with both hands. To be fair, we are technically from South, aren't we? So yeah, man, it is what it is. Salute DJ as always. Big up all the Gooners. Have a productive week. Apologies. 3-1 win tonight for Arsenal. Hopefully, man. I don't care what score line, who scores, how we score. Just do the thing, man. Big game. Crystal Palace are on crazy form. A lot of attacking flair. Your centre-backs need a big game. Everyone needs a big game. Our first attacker is Ramsdale or Leno. Our first defender is Lacazette. Respectfully, Lacazette, you know, the bar's on the floor in terms of needing you to score goals. That pressing, all of them things are going to be needed. You know, you look at Crystal Palace, fundamentally, you know, you have to give Vieira a lot of credit because staying in the league was the first priority for me looking at them. They had a massive change of squad. They're playing a lot of younger players, you know. People just stayed in the league. People are probably, you know, even in August, if you was to say do a sack race, obviously you probably would have put the Watford gaffer, the Norwich gaffer at the time because of what them teams they are doing. But Vieira's name, whether they rate him or not, just because of the task he had to do at Crystal Palace, and they're doing quite well. You know, when I think of them, I think of fearlessness, whether that's Gallagher, whether that's Gurhey, you know, the two centre-backs are playing. They got a good partnership. Mitchell on the best of days is difficult to play against. It's going to be a big game, man. On the topic of their form as well, man, I need to see Crystal Palace. Let me type them in. Wait. 5th versus 12th. 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. Only 1 loss in their last 5. Vieira, remember it started, mate. Please. Obviously, you know, they're into the semi-finals of the FA Cup after dispatching Everton 4-0. They drew against Man City, so they know about resilience. They've claimed more points off City than we have, you know, and we waffle about how good we was against City. We lost. There's no romance around it, you know. You need to get points in this league. They beat Wolves away from home. Fair enough. Drew with Burnley. They're quite difficult, you know. They gave Chelsea a game. They gave West Ham a game. It's going to be a difficult clash, man. It's going to be a difficult clash, man. Keep Leno and Cedric in too soon for Ramsdale and Tomiyasu. How? I'm not saying you're wrong, Danny, but how? You know, if they're both truly over the injuries with the international break, how? And, you know, at this point in the season with 10 games left, surely you want your stronger players. Why I admire Leno for coming into the team and getting his clean sheet, and obviously what Cedric's been doing, if obviously there's going to be a degree of match fitness, and I kind of agree that they might not be, well, definitely where Tomiyasu is. How? Because for me, away from home, when you're playing, you know, one of the best wingers in the league, slight exaggeration is surely you want your best right back available. And when I look at Cedric, as decent as he's been, people fancy it against him. Even the Leicester game, Harvey Barnes fancied it. You know, Tomiyasu's ability to win first and second balls, Ramsdale's distribution is something that we're going to need. And to be honest, with Tomiyasu back, you might see Tierney offering a lot more in the final third. How much does Tierney have to reserve how he plays because he's playing with Cedric? Now, Cedric going forward is probably a bit more joy to watch than Tomiyasu, but I'm just to play devil's advocate. How is it too soon? If they're fit, why not? Definitely for me where Ramsdale is, because the distribution, we're going to be away from home where they're going to be aggressive. They're going to be difficult to play against. They're going to snap at our heels. You know, we need to be able to retain the ball. And I mean, just in terms of the leadership aspect is why Ramsdale starts for me anyways. But the distribution of Leno, it's just not quite there, man. You know, if Ramsdale's truly over this injury, then for me, I'd say why not? The risk probably is with Tomiyasu, really. And we've been quite cautious with Tomiyasu, so why not, man? Sure, Ramsdale was speculated for a later recovery window. Plus, I'd reward Leno for a good performance. Cedric has not been sus, I don't think either. I hear that, but I don't agree with the reward thing, because what we rewarding man for, really, you know, you play your strongest players, really. You know, there's a romance around what we're doing and everybody taking their chances. But surely, you know, rewarding for what? What do we care more about Leno? Who, you know, who in the team makes us stronger to get 3 points? Leno or Ramsdale? Do we reward the fans? Do we reward ourselves with the turnaround of form and keep struggling along for top 4? Or do we give it to Leno? Now, again, Leno kept a clean sheet. He did well. I agree with you, but Ramsdale's our better keeper. Tomiyasu's our better right back. While both players deserve probably to sit out, like how, to be fair, Smith Rowe lost his place in the team. I get it. I fully get it. I fully agree. But then, and I'm actually kind of with you, but then when I look at the other aspect, you know, are we trying to do this football thing, or are we trying to do this Sunday League rewarding? You're only as good as your last game. You're right, Cedric hasn't put a foot wrong, but at the same time, the goals we've conceded, Cedric ain't been alone, but he's not been far from the crime scene. And it's, for me, the fact that they fancy it. Anyone that's played Sunday League, if you're playing against a fullback where they're just going to pop it over your head and they're going to give you some change, you're going to keep doing it. Where if you try to pop it over Tomiyasu, said, well, you try beat him for pace or strength and it doesn't work, you're going to have to try something else, aren't you? You know, I offer you that running in behind, which Martinelli, Smith Rowe, Saka does, but they're not doing that and can't do it because of where they are consistently. So Crystal Palace are going to get further and further forward. You know, if you've got Leno, whose distribution, and that's the main thing, away from home, can't give the ball away, you've got that. We're already a team that probably overcompensates on needing our centre halves to play out from the back because we haven't got them technicians in the number 8 role. You know, then you're kind of killing Tierney and Cedric. They can't really both fly forward again because, you know, we ain't really got that protection as much as Partey's there. And for me, it's mainly the leadership, man. I'd say that's where Ramsdale. I'm probably more, you know, the Tomiyasu one. I could entertain Cedric. You know what, you've been doing your thing regardless. Even though Tomiyasu, I think there's more of a pressing need for you to be in the team. Ramsdale's the one, if fit, and I mean like properly, you're able to do this thing again, let's keep going. And he did want to play in the last game against Leicester, Arteta said, but we ruled him out. So again, if he's fit and there's no problems and repercussions and you're out for 2 weeks now, then start the man. You know, at the same time, Leno's got a point to prove. You know, you're out the German team. I won't quite say a point to prove to Arsenal because you're probably leaving, but he can put himself in the shop window, remind the German gaffer what he's on, simply play games and try hold on to the shirt, you know, because we are in a unique position where we have 2 keepers, arguably, at least for this season, who arguably can be first choice keepers either here or elsewhere. I don't know if, you know, get well soon, Matt Turner. I heard he's injured, but I've never seen my man play in MLS. So I don't know what he's on really and truly. I don't think there's a right or wrong, because on one hand, I agree. But on the other hand, if both of them are fit, they play for me, man. You know, they play for me. It's an interesting one. And it's one where I'd say I'm happy I'm not Mikel Arteta, if I'm completely honest with you. I'm trying to find the team news to reiterate what was said about that in the week. Where is it? Where's the team news thing gone? They normally got it on their website. Yeah, team news. Here we go. Is this for Crystal Palace? Yeah, in relation to team news, Tomiyasu again. I think Tomiyasu will be on the bench because on Tomiyasu, he said, I think it will be close. He's been, and he could be playing devil's advocate, but he said, I think it will be close. He's been training more and more. He has the boys back now, so he will be joining some sessions this week. Let's see how it goes. And then he said, on him taking longer to return than expected, he had a recurring injury, but in the other calf, which is strange and difficult to predict. He's been through a lot in the last 2 years with all the COVID and the amount of games that he's played. The transition to a different league with the intensity is completely different. We can find the right reasons and hopefully don't go through that situation again, because especially for him, it's been tough. Saka's back in training, obviously. And he did say Ramsdale's a doubt. He's still not feeling great. He hasn't trained yet, so we don't know what he'll be able to do on Monday. Now, we did see yesterday that he did train with Arsenal in the pictures that come out. He wanted to play against Aston Villa, but it was a significant injury and we had to take his time. The physios are doing everything they can to make him available, but we'll see in the next few days when he starts to do more real training. So we'll have to see, man. But one thing I do like, everybody is playing with a point to prove, and I've never had more faith in our squad players now than I've had in recent years, if that makes sense. Like, obviously, everybody's disappointed to not play. Everybody kind of knows, you know, there's regulars in the team, there's squad man, there's whatever. And I do think while everybody wants to play, everybody in this team can kind of understand that I have to leave my ego at the door sort of thing. It's not necessarily about me. The collective comes first. But if that opportunity does come, take it, as Cedric has done. Don't quite want to say it for Leno because you played well against Villa, but it's a 190 minutes. But him as well, etc., etc. So hopefully whoever goes out there just earn the right to play, man. It's going to be a difficult game. I am a bit nervous for it. I cannot even lie to you lot, as I always am for Crystal Palace. So it is what it is. On the topic of Crystal Palace, don't forget we're doing a watch along as well. Twitch, you're going to be part of that. And I have a reaction live stream tomorrow as well. Again, where is my watch along? Here it is. Let's slap that in there. I didn't watch Inter Milan, Juventus. I see the highlights. I see a dodgy penalty given. Apart from that, I got no comment, bro. I never watched it. I'm gonna do a live stream for it, but then I thought, you know what, it probably is gonna be a meaty one, innit? So yeah, it is what it is where that's concerned, man. What are you lot saying? Because I'm airing you lot, man. We went off on a tangent. I know, bro. Just found it funny. It would be hilarious when we celebrate scrapping these men off our shoes. Fair enough. Could do with killing the game in the first. The crowd's going to be important, man. The crowd is going to be important. We have improved away from home, but I still think there's been a bit of question marks away from home. There's been elements where we could have done a lot better. I look at Leicester, and again, you have to cherry pick, because cherry picking and finding a margin is what's going to make the difference with top four. I would say Leicester, it could have been cleaner. Watford, it could have been a lot cleaner. You know, Villa, it could have been a bit cleaner as well. You know, again, and even in these games, we've had better periods than others. It's not a thing where just because we're in form or we're winning, we shut up about things. And I'm not necessarily finding negatives or positives. I'm just speaking about what I see. So yeah, we're gonna have to see, man. Shout out the Canadians. Big up from Canada, DG. Proper buzzed about Canadians men's team making it to the World Cup. I'm too excited. Boy, what's up, DG? Big up. 6:47 in the morning here, but can't miss the stream. I think Oshimhen is a realistic but quality signing. It just becomes about price. He's good, but not over worth 70 million. To be honest, we're probably gonna have to overpay for a striker. Everyone knows we need one, unless you're gonna do your due diligence and scout and find the Oshimhens, the Vlahovic's, half these strikers that we're linked with be the club that's they're at now, in it, because they had to find them somewhere. Unless you're gonna find them, then you're probably gonna have to overpay. And especially in Arsenal's position, where we have the double whammy of needing a striker to score goals, needing a striker for our system. Strikers are busting out at some period. Balogun in the summer. Obviously, Tyrese, John Jules, Martinelli can play there, but Balogun is the only first team recognized striker at some point. And arguably, there's every case of, if I'm him, you know, while there's every case of maybe staying at Arsenal, being part of the squad, if I'm him, maybe there's every worth of, I need to go on loan as quick as I can in pre-season to adapt to the new manager of the club I'm going to, or just continue my thing. It doesn't really make sense. And arguably that's what kind of harmed him in last summer, with the speculation about Eddie, about Lacazette, about Aubameyang, about us needing to bring in Tammy or Latour or Martinez at the time, and the knock-on effect that kind of probably affected Balogun to go with his own contractual stuff, which saw him, let's be honest, waste the first 6 months of his career this season, really. You know, I know he got to start against Brentford and he got a couple minutes and, you know, and that, but what's he probably learned more from that occasional one, or the harsh realities of Middlesbrough, really, where in the bigger games, you know, shout to Balogun, he scored in his last game and he had a great goal for me against Brum. But, you know, in the bigger games, you know, the Chelseas, the Uniteds, the Spurs, he's not standing out. And that's not to criticize him. You need to be outside your comfort zone. There's no point gassing a man up about doing a madness at 23's level against the same players he's probably faster than, stronger than, playing against for years. You need to be outside your comfort zone. Really, a lot of people talk about strengths. No one talks about weaknesses. This is what you need to improve. So let's see what he's on, man. Partey and Xhaka need to be on it, because Conor Gallagher ran through the midfield at the Emirates. Trust, ran through it. And Odegaard, you're up there for the pressing stats. I'm gonna need that. Smith Rowe deserves to probably play, and it's his neck of the woods. But for that reason, I think it's a Martinelli thing today. You know, something just tells it's a Martinelli left wing thing today. I just feel like that's the best course of action today. I feel Smith Rowe should be playing. It's one where I wish I could be like Bayern Munich this weekend and try and field 12 players, really. But I think it's one, I think I play Martinelli. But then again, you've been traveling with Brazil, playing at high altitude and all of those sort of things. But then again, Smith Rowe off that left, you do work well with Tierney, man. We've got some good problems, man. Some good problems this season still. Well, I say this season, in the last couple of months, it's been decent, isn't it? It's been all right. Sorry, I'm just trying to see the last game. Where's the last game you played in the league? That was against City. Who did you not play against City? Who was the fullbacks? Mitchell and Klein. I don't know if Klein's playing again, but we need to absolutely terrorize him. Girl, he's a solid defender, as is Anderson, who we used to be linked with. But I'm not being funny. As big up Palace, and they got Slop and all these honest workers. But this is a game you should be winning. I cannot cap. Shout out to their front three. Palace again. The first and second balls off the ball is going to be crucial. You know, Conor Gallagher, he never stops running. You know, energy. And again, I've been to Crystal Palace away. It's one of the best away grounds I feel in the Premier League. Is you know, the stadium's quite, when I went, quite run down, quite small, quite tight. The fans them are on crud. It's brazy. DG 1-0 to Arsenal tonight. Saka will get the winner. Don't care for the scoreline, who scores, just as long as we grab them 3 points. We need to try and be ruthless at home and better our goal difference. Yeah, when we return to home fixtures like Brighton. Brighton are probably going to up their form a lot for when we play them. But games like that, we need to do what Spurs sadly did on Sunday and start making those 4-5-1s. But fundamentally, first things first, we just need to score goals, man, and win the game. Facts to DG, two sides of the coin. Exactly. I'll be shameless to whatever start Arteta picks for us to get 3 points. That's it. As long as whatever he feels, because Cedric deserves to play. Sometimes retaining faith in a man can be the beneficial thing, sort of thing. Look what it did with us with the FA Cup with Martinez, and I know he won't shut up about us and his manager. If he focused less on Bukayo Saka, you might have got 3 points. I see you lost the Celebration Police Derby, and Mr. My Man, to make matters worse or better for me, Ashley Young couldn't have been a nicer guy to score a goal. Wrong net, mate. Cedric has been caught out a few times when I've watched us. Sometimes he gets caught too far up the pitch on the counter. Very rare when Tommy's in the team because he's always goal side. Facts. Tommy, let's be honest, Cedric is caught out of position quite a few times and he falls asleep. I'm not trying to get him because he's done well, but yeah. Like Joshua said, credit to Cedric, but let's not forget Tommy's importance. Steady on. People were saying, people were screaming Pablo Mari better than Gabriel, Tavares better than Tini. Some fans got short memories, man. Nunes, Oshimhen, or Antony, your preference. Antony's a right winger, so he's already out of it. If it became between Oshimhen and Nunes, literally, I'm happy with either one. I like the fact that Oshimhen for me is somewhat a throwback forward in that it sounds dumb, but I don't see too many strikers that it genuinely upsets them not to score, or they're not hungry for goals. I think Oshimhen is a goal scorer first things first. Nunes, the South American, the movement, there's something to like about the raw potential and the rawness he comes with. Nkunku would be great, but you're coming to play as an 8, potentially a false 9 at times. Tommy will start. Cedric will start, I reckon. Could playing Tomiyasu throw Palace off if they're preparing to play Cedric. Potentially, yeah. But if I was Vieira, you prepare for the strongest team. Like if I'm Arsenal, I prepare for a team that has Zaha, Elise, whether they're fit or not. I think Spurs will lose to Villa, and that will just help Arsenal stay clear. I don't know. Listen, what other teams do, I don't know. What top 4 comes down to, what other teams do, I don't know. All I know is their variables Arsenal can't control. What we can control is how we turn up for games and ultimately how we get 3 points. Not a happy man. Based on what you said, you look like a happy man now, or I assume you are. Good morning, DG. Just got a job offer as a financial analyst in South Korea. Haven't even told my mum yet, but we're making out the hood, bro. Shout out to you. Go do your thing, man. Wishing the best of you. And that's a fantastic way to start Monday. And that's what we're about. Make sure when you're in the office in South Korea, you just leave my YouTube vids on, though. Make sure you put the subtitles in that. You just leave it on. Just leave it on the random computer. Just leave it and walk off so that some random don sees it. And we start getting fans in South Korea, man. Yeah, but Leipzig did a badness, man. And Nkunku, Emre tried to warn us. He tried to tell us. Ramsdale is our number 1 keeper, but he did have a dip in form in the last few games he played. That's true. I'd be happy if Leno starts. Crystal Palace fans are there 12, man. So are ours, and at home we've been mad. Arsenal away, they've been mad as well. I don't think Arsenal away fans are getting as much love as they would because the home fans are moving mad. But there was a time where literally it was like 2 different football clubs. At the Emirates, it was probably North London Red, and then away from home it was Arsenal. But now home and away we're rocking, and Celebration Police got a problem. It's lovely, man. Mark my words, DG, Spurs will drop points away to Villa. I will mark them respectfully. I don't care though. Let's just deal with what we deal with. Everything. It's like today. We saw Chelsea. Nobody saw Brentford, the beast stinging Chelsea like that. Nobody, expected that. United dropped points. Spurs and West Ham took points. We can't control that. What we can control is how we win today, if we win today. You have to play players that definitely have 90 minutes in their legs, so Martinelli and Cedric should start. But how do we? I agree with you, especially because of rustiness. But with the international break, how do we know Ramsdale hasn't got 90 minutes? Let's remember, Ramsdale played on this injury, rather smartly or not. It says he sustained it in the first half against Liverpool. So surely it's more of a pain thing than the ability. For Tomiyasu, I agree, because when we rushed him back and we kind of set him up to fail, rushing him back, making him play against Jota, gave him problems there. But how do we know this? And maybe the way Martinelli plays, let's be honest, sometimes he's felt out of gas. We've come a long way from Lichtsteiner, Bellerin, as much as I like him in Chambers. Trust. When we had masters of none. And to be fair, maybe Cedric's lack of offers helped him, man. Nah, for me, if Ramsdale's not 100%, then he doesn't play. I don't want 95% because we're in the last 10 games. I'd rather you miss Palace and be about for Brighton and to the end of the season. If you're not 100%, forget about it. I know footballers have to play without being 100%, etc. But, I am quite nervous about losing key players. Especially, let's be honest, it sucks at this moment of the season for Ramsdale, Tomiyasu. I know Saka got COVID, but I don't want to hear this about my key players, man. I mean, my man is just keen on trolling, sorry. So let's give him 5 minutes of fame. Big up Vieira. He does come from Senegal. Whether he beats Arsenal is not. Are you right now? I've been purposely airing it, but you see, it's Monday. Let's do a good deed for charity. We're at 66 likes. Can we get to 100 people? You right now? 5 minutes of fame. Look, mummy, I'm there. Baby mum's all over. Deluded put me up. Brazy. Listen, I'm worried for Spurs as well. I'm worried with everyone. I said it's a fair fight. It's regardless of what you say about United, West Ham, Arsenal, and Spurs, it's a fair fight. It's like 4 people have just linked up in a park. We've all got our fists. And whoever wins the fight, wins the fight. This man might be better with his left hand. This man might be a one-bang specialist. This guy might know karate or whatever. And this guy might just be the guy that's on biting places that he shouldn't bite and using weapons and that. But we're all in with relatively a fair fight. Now, whoever loses the fight, loses the fight. Simple as that. Big up Zaza. We're in with a fight, man. When I look at Spurs, what worries me? Of course, the Conte factor. The fact that it looks like things are happening for them. Bloody hell, they've won 3 games on the spin and this, all that. But that happened with us. They're picking up form. Kane has remembered himself. Son has remembered himself. Kulusevski, Romero, Bentancur have added something to that team, especially Kulusevski and Bentancur, the January Dons. Spurs' run of fixtures, of course, we can laugh Spursy, and I hope they lose to Villa, Norwich, anyone. But Arsenal and United would probably, if we could, trade fixtures with them, So them things there do scare me. They've patterned their goal difference. Of course, United, if Spurs and Arsenal mess about, United are back in this. West Ham and United are not out of it. I don't mind Spurs being in fourth and having the target on their back because every week there's a new favourite. Arsenal fans who were behaving like fourth is a foregone conclusion, suddenly getting a lot of itchy fingers now that Spurs have moved into it. It is what it is. If we take our chances, we have whatever narrative we have. Simple as that, I've got every confidence in how we've played. We've done the hard part, but now it's down to them. The thing that has scared me about this team has been what's ruled me on is our inexperience. And, when you ain't been in these situations crumbling, I think it's almost because Saka, Smith Rowe, even Arteta, you've never been in this top 4 shout. Maybe the fact of you don't know what you don't know is helping you. Vieira's a great manager, man. We are aware of Vieira, man, but please, bro, it's early in the morning. We're just trying to have a genuine football conversation. If you're not going to ask anything, please, United might be finished, but this finished team, I've seen them finish second. I hope to be that. You think I don't want Arsenal to finish first? Finish fourth and run some bands. You don't think I want Arsenal to finish third? And run some bands, especially with what's going on with Chelsea. But we need to take our chances. How many times did we see in top 4 races where everybody would stink up the place? Realistically, every team fighting for fourth and third is doing so because we're not consistent. We've either been underperforming, and this goes for all teams, underperforming, or projects haven't gone to plan, or you haven't been consistent through the full season. You look at Arsenal, Spurs, United have gone from potentially winning the league to what they're doing now. Arsenal have gone from relegation candidates to man are looking at third place for the second time this season, So it is what it is. You've just got to relish it. For me, what I would like is just, if it all goes downhill, well, what's the worst that they could say about you? The things they've been writing for years, that Arsenal lack fight, that they lack desire, that they bottle it. what, you know, you should use that as fearlessness. They can only say what they've been saying about you lot for years. And I do think you lot can be proud of yourselves if you run it all the way and not get there. But at the same time, that's all Disney Channel. It's like us. It's like us against City. We can talk about how we went toe to toe and all of this. We didn't get no points. Palace got points. Chelsea, Spurs got 6 points. Again, if you know, Leeds, Bielsa was playing a certain sort of football and it worked for a minute, and it was Disney Channel. It was you know, you had to admire someone that stuck to their guns. But life isn't all sunshine and rainbows. You've got to do things and get over. So, you know, that as much as I think, you know, we're exceeding expectations, we're fighting for something that we wouldn't be. If you don't get it, there's question marks, because just the ability of being able to turn it on when it's a pressurized moment. If you can't do it for top four, you can't do it again for FA Cup. You can't do it for things above. It's all fun and games when the pressure's there. The pressure's gonna get cranked up. Everything is gonna get magnified even more. The TV are gonna spread their propaganda all day. They don't give a fuck who, for obvious reasons, who gets there or not. But they're gonna capitalize on Arsenal and Spurs' form. Look at Sky Sports yesterday. Beware Arsenal. Beware Arsenal. Over to you, Arsenal. They're making it that now. You know, all we can do for the players is shut up with the noise. We've been here before, you know, but we need to see it through. You know, top 6 was probably the aim, or no targets of what Edu said, but you need to get through. You need to get it through. There'll be a bitter pill to swallow, of course, for the fans. But I would say for the players, for themselves, you have the chance to probably just play in the Champions League for the sake of it. But some of you haven't played in it. Some of you were signed when we were our last year in it, and then we ain't been there since. So, you know, for Arteta, you ain't been in it. For the club, there's finances, you know, there's obviously the players you attract. There's a platform. There's maybe accelerating the process and things like that. I don't know. And just in terms of, brother, what you do, you're trying the premise of the league is to finish as high as you can, right? Simple as that. Do what you can, and building blocks for next season. I need to see, I've said it before, I need to know you can go to Palace away, play Southampton home and away, play against, you know, Brighton home and away, and know you can do something. And then for obvious reasons, you've got Stamford Bridge, you welcome United, you know, 2 games where we didn't take no points, really. You know, we messed up against United and Chelsea. Chelsea was different at the time. Got to play West Ham. You know what you need to do. You know, we beat Spurs at our place. When was the last time we did that recently? When was the last time we did the double over our North London rivals, which, as someone who's 26 years of age, 27, is it next week? April the 13th, don't forget. That was a foregone conclusion. So it's almost been humbling, you know. It's put up or shut up time now. So for the boys, just don't listen to the noise. Do what you're doing. Because if they listen to all the noise when things were going well, we'd be still probably languishing where we was, because we were relegation candidates and whatever. Same way they shouldn't listen to the praise. You know, just keep doing what you're doing. People are going to talk. Just keep doing what you're doing. And maybe if you keep doing that and you apply yourselves and we work hard, and because of that, the universe rewards us with a bit of luck, who knows? We might have a season to remember, people. I don't know, though, man. Appreciative to all the comments, though. You lot are in top form. Timestamps, man. No, I haven't seen Cody Gakpo's goal, man. It seems like I'm missing a lot, really, where football's concerned. Crazy. I want top 4 for Arsenal, not top 6. Same, of course. I don't want to be in Europa League, of course not. But is what it is. We kept Buendia and Coutinho quiet, different players, but I think if we can mirror that with Zaha and Elise, then we'll get it. But hey, you know, I hear you, but let's just focus on the whole 11. But listen, Mustafi, hate's a strong word, but as a footballer, I effing hated what you became. There was a time where, I'm not going to say I hated you since you signed for Arsenal, where you actually frauded us into believing you were good. I remember there was a point where we was actually undefeated with Mustafi in the team. And then, yeah, we should have sealed the warning signs when Gary Neville was praising his defensive abilities. Boy, I don't think I've ever seen a man fraud it like Mustafi, you know. Just based on what you was projected to what we saw. It is Nitty's fighting, bro. Like, I will ask you a question then. Will Patrick Vieira ruin your top 4 place tonight? I don't know, man. Anything can happen. I hope not. Just know if that doesn't happen, don't run. I want to see you commenting here again and again and again. And don't forget, on that topic, people, same time tomorrow as this, I'll be doing a reaction to Crystal Palace Arsenal, as well as everything that happens during the game. Again, shout out the Twitch ones. Don't forget, if you're on YouTube, however, to set your reminders and all that boring stuff, as I have to keep saying to you lot. Oh, we're gonna get into the transfer stuff in a while, in a second, people. And obviously, I want to talk about Saliba. I don't think we've seen Saliba's comments or spoken about Saliba's comments, man. Definitely think Arsenal got top four this year. We're definitely the most fearless out of all the race. I hear that, but I don't know for fearlessness. I just need to see us getting the most points. You know, we've got 2 games in hand that needs to correlate to realize points on the board for me personally. Being fearless and all these things, but I don't think Arsenal necessarily are. I don't think they're not. At the same time, while I agree, you know, Arteta's making some young demons, bro, can you be fearless of a team that's got 2 strikers that has 4 goals between them? Or would you say you're scared of Son and Kane and all these things and someone of Conte's ilk? You know, the forget the manager necessarily, but Cristiano Ronaldo and the brand, which is Man United, I don't know. DG, I remember you was not the biggest fan. That's a bit harsh. You was not the biggest fan of Patrick Vieira at his time with Nice. Do you change your opinion on him? No, because I'm seeing the same old things. You play the same old attacking sort of football. You give you football a chance, you know. I'm just not convinced with your abilities. Of course, obviously, with what I'm seeing at Crystal Palace, if you was to be linked with the Arsenal job now, then I would obviously be a bit more for it than I was against it at the time. But I wouldn't say nothing's necessarily changed. You're doing well for Crystal Palace, and I want him to get Europe and exceed expectations. But it's a bit like with Arteta right now. What have you done? You know, what have you done? The season's not finished, and as much as the narrative and everything's great, what have you done? And it's about how you finish as well, you know. And at the same time, yeah, as much as I admire Arteta's rebuild, should I praise you for doing the minimums? That's what you should do: rebuild, have a system, all these things. Same with Vieira. So yeah, man, he's doing well. He's doing his thing now, man. And long may it continue. Not tonight, though, but long may it continue, man. Shout out Patrick Vieira. Because as I said at the start, well, or did I say it on Twitch? He was a job where if he was to go back to August, which I can't at this moment, obviously, and look at the sack race, Vieira's name must have been a bit among them. Poison chalice. You know, there was an exodus of players. Staying in the league was the priority. Keen to see next season with the development of Vieira and what they do, but he's done a madness. And I'm going to be honest, you know, I don't want to take it there, but, you know, he's a black manager, innit? There's not too many of them, innit? And for someone who was seen as a captain, as a leader, why, you know, he hasn't been given a role like that quicker than some, you know, it probably tells the privilege in the game, but it also says, of course, I wanted to do as wavy as you could. You know, if Vieira gets any, if Arteta, gets any cold feet, then this is where you need to, you know, you need to come to. And who knows, if the Spotify Donny came in, maybe it was be it Bergkamp and Henry doing some off-field stuff, and maybe Vieira would have been the gaffer, but we'll never know, man. Don't forget to check your schedules on Twitch, people. I have every confidence that you, man, will get top 4. It's Arsenal's time. Big yards, I appreciate that, but I've got more confidence in what we're going on with, but I don't know, man. Maybe if we had that higher caliber striker or that talisman per se, not to belittle what anyone's doing. Like if we had a Mo Salah, to paint a picture of a talisman, if we had something that gives us the edge, I don't know. Really, what fuels me with Arsenal is the fear of the unknown, and that kind of scares me. But fuels me on is that you don't know. Let's be honest. In our gut, pause. You're almost waiting for Arsenal to fuck you up, but at the same time, like on the left and right hand side of that same feeling is that it feels like something's happening here. But again, this is why for me, I just care about the 38 game calendar. There's different periods in the season. So it's crazy, man. It's crazy. And Mark can't take this. And again, points on the board. Once again, unfortunately, Lewis Van Gaal's revealed he's got prostate cancer. Thoughts are with him and his family at a difficult time. Once again, this is why I don't just say it for the sake of it, but I genuinely wish you lot continued good health in all aspects of the word, people. You know, health is wealth, isn't it? Literally, it doesn't matter how rich or poor you are. If your life's in if your life's in danger, it's a mad thing. And for Van Gaal, unfortunately, he's had COVID. I'd swear not too long ago he had a broken hip or something like that. And now obviously he's revealed yesterday he's got prostate cancer. It's fucked, man. But just based on what we see with the character of Van Gaal, he's probably taking it all in his stride, probably finding humor around it. Probably, to be fair, like, bro, he's still going out on his terms, man. Still saying United are a commercial club. So, you know, thoughts are with him. It's down to who's more consistent. That's it, Paul. Shout out to you, Paul. I see you won another bet. That's it. Like consistency for both teams. Once again, Arsenal, Spurs, United, West Ham, you know, West Ham United, Manchester United. You're in a top 4 race because we all struggle for prolonged consistency. We show periods of it, but throughout a season, you know, we're not doing historically what Liverpool and City have been doing. Up until a point, actually, with what Chelsea was doing, but now they're kind of moving mad. Points make prizes 100%. Get well soon once again, Louis Van Gaal. So yeah, man, it is where that's concerned, man. It is where it is. Have I got all the stuff loaded up? I think I do. Let's delete that. Before we get into it, people, let's have one last search of Arsenal-related news, just so we can stay in tune. We've been linked with Antony. You know, we're always linked with Mr. Jonathan David, who allegedly, I haven't got the article, but we're allegedly watching once again. So we're going to have to see what article is this. I don't care about what Gary Neville's saying, Ralph Rangnick. Salah's on the brink of signing new deal. That will be spoken of tomorrow. So with that. All right. Everything's all over the place. On the best of days, I've got too many tabs open. Sorry, people. I'm trying to close shit. I'll be real with you. I'm trying to close stuff. What it be? Let's change this to an hour. Sorry, people, man. Sorry. I'm gonna be with you. Oh, I'm still here, obviously, but seeing some things that are not some, you know how the papers are, man. Come on, smash the like, Paul. I appreciate it. If you didn't know, Paul's a Spurs fan, which again, he has a great taste in content creators, not sorting clubs, but I appreciate it because fundamentally, we're fans of the great game. How do you feel about Flores joining the team tonight? It's a good look. You know, Marcelo Flores, Amari Hutchinson, you know, Charlie Patino, Zach Swanson, who's a lot older than them, and for me, probably should move on. Mika Beref, all these guys have been on the bench, Okonkwo and involved. It shows that there is a pathway. It shows even when you don't think somebody's looking at you lot. And it shows that, you know, you can be given chances. I'd say fundamentally, that's the thing I like with Arteta, in that obviously I need to get 3 points. I'm not just going to play people for the sake of it, but if you stay ready, you won't need to get ready. There's opportunities there and the pathways there. I wish I could say certain other things, but yeah, man, like let's calm it down with all the youth players and that. But yeah, it's a good look because you know, he's getting in and around the Mexico squad. You know, I would say outside chance of making the World Cup squad in November because, well, unless you start playing senior football, it's a myth. But you know, he's doing what he's doing his thing, and it's a good look, especially because, you know, your teammates at that level, they're playing at the Emirates today. You know, so it's a good look, man. But just let the man develop, and as usual, I want 3 points, but if the game goes a certain sort of way and certain things happen and all of them sort of things, then of course, if we are winning handsomely, why not give him some chances off the bench? Why not let him make his debut and things like that? And the same goes for all of them, really. You know, I would love it, and it would help us a lot if he reaches first team, because when we had a couple Mexican man before, it didn't really work with Vela in it. So I'm sure the Mexican Gooners, they want to see someone who's lit. Or in fact, saying that though, I cannot lie. You know, as much as I say outside chance for Mexico, he's, you know, Canada on him as well, and Canada at the World Cup same way. So, you know, it seems like Mexico have won the race. I would say it looks like he has more of an affinity to Mexico and that, or Mexico, as I hear on what's that show I'm watching on Netflix, man, Queen of the South. But yeah, man, good look for Marcelo, man. Good look. And it's even nice to see KHAYON Edwards is allegedly signing a new deal as well at the club. You know me, I like KHAYON Edwards. First and foremost, fantastic attitude. Second of all, he's a bloody good player. Third of all, if he has these strikers need to make money for the club or reach the first team, and he's one of the top goal scorers, I feel, in at his age group this season. I could be wrong, but I'm sure KHAYON Edwards, bro, Vela was meaty, man. He weren't that bad, but it was meaty, bro. Like, come on now, man. It was meaty because you weren't strong enough for this thing. You done well in the cups and that. It was meaty. And like I said with KHAYON Edwards, man's got 16 goals in 16 appearances and 5 assists. Unfortunately, he's been robbed of a season with injury, and I don't think he'll play again this year, but he's been moving mad, and you want to keep all of that. For him, I guess there's a decision to make at 18. Does Arsenal have necessarily the pathway? Because, You know, it might do, and you never know what could happen. But you've got Tyrese John Jules, you've got Balogun, you've got Martinelli who can play up front. You know, the club's probably going to sign a striker to play immediately in the first team. You know, you don't necessarily know what's happening with Eddie Nketiah, although much like Balogun and Eddie Nketiah, allegedly the same agent as KHAYON Edwards he's eating. So yeah, man, it's a good look, and I really like the look of KHAYON Edwards, man. Him and Sego really doing well at academy level. So it's nice to see that. You know, we've got some good players coming through, man. You know, you see loan reports soon come out, and again, I've been really behind in the youth content. We'll get back with it, but it's nice to see Brook Norton-Cuffy making inroads at Lincoln. People need to calm it down. Actually, watch 90 minutes, but we're making progress. We're doing things, man. Let's be honest, you have no chance of getting Antony. Maybe not, probably not, but we've been linked with him, man. So why not speak about it nonetheless, man? You know, probably won't get him. I'd more want a striker as much as Antony's lit, but yeah, man, you know. Did he tell you that though? That's all I want to know. If he told you that, then fair play, man. As much as I agree with you, we don't have a chance. Why do fans love to speak like they're transfer experts? Fella was that bad, man. Better than Eddie, Bentner, Sanogo. Hey, Sanogo helped us win the FA Cup. Bentner, it's not hard to be. And to be fair, is that the company you want to keep? Like, I was going to do certain YouTubers day, but is that the company you keep? You know, the bars on the floor. Like, if you've got 5 goals already this season, you're a better striker in the league than Eddie Nketiah. Respectfully to Eddie, I don't want to do him dirty, but is this the company you want to keep? Would you give Omar Rekic a chance? I like the development he's doing. It just comes down to bodies, man. Like, obviously, for me, I want to build centrally around Saliba, around Saliba, Gabriel, and obviously Ben White, and them sort of things there. Maybe bring in another centre-half that's a bit older than them, that's a decent squad player. So I would, but how many chances could you really give him? Especially because as much as I want all these young players to get opportunities, you got to remember, bro, we need to get 3 points. And I think not you, but fans want it all. You can't have every young player getting opportunities, them hitting the ground running, 3 points and winning stuff. At some point, you need to find balance. Yes, Arsenal are kicking on for top 4 and doing things, but there's a certain sort of balance that has to come with playing these young players, and they will make mistakes. Tavares, Lokonga, Bukayo Saka, Smith Rowe, to a slighter degree, a bit older, but Ramsdale, Ben White, Tomiyasu, they will make mistakes that ultimately will cost you points. And the youth, man. You know, everyone's screaming Balogun, Balogun, Balogun. The minute he had an iffy game in the league, man, certain man saying he's overrated. What do you expect? You know? You can't just go off of badding up 23's football, where you're stronger, faster, quicker, been bullying the same guys, probably been playing since 8, 9 years of age. When you're going into the senior game now, where people's pride is on the line, people are fighting for paychecks, there's serious repercussions, and it's a culture shock. This is what you need. This is why you're seeing better. And I would say Balogun, his underlying metrics in terms of his pressing, all of these things are up. But in terms of like scoring 20 goals or doing a mad thing, he's not doing that. Because he's learning the game. Scored a great goal at the weekend. Scored a very good goal against Birmingham. But when I look at, it's difficult, but the minutes against Spurs, you didn't do much apart from Rick Romero, which you did tear him a new one. The anonymous against Chelsea and United, and the whole team was. But again, respectfully, I don't care about what the whole of Middlesbrough's doing. I care about Balogun. Same way when I watch Marseille. The team has improved defensively, but they're quite shambolic in some moments defensively, and a bit of it affects Saliba. But you always hear me focus on the actions that directly affect Saliba, because respectfully, without Guendouzi, who doesn't look like he's being our player, I don't care about what them other players are doing. So to answer your question and to stop going off on a tangent, I would, but it all depends. How much minutes can you give? It's like Balogun. I would, on one hand, love Balogun to be in and around the football next season, with potentially being in Europe. There's extra games, but we've got to remember, if we're in the Europa League, you want to win it. So yeah, he might play in the cup, but you have to kind of play your strongest team to set off the levels anyways. If we're in the Champions League, unless we're through already and it comes down to the last week or two, you're not playing in that. There's only so many cup games. You have to wait to the turn of the year for the FA Cup. And with the World Cup in November, what's that going to say? You know, how much football are you going to play to really develop, really? And you've got to remember, there has to be a degree of ruthlessness that we're still trying to get 3 points and do things today. You know, you can't have it all. And when these players play, you have to, like Wenger said, you have to be accustomed to them making mistakes. Big up you lot who follow me on Twitch. We play Football Manager. I play my young players all the time. You know, what was that young regen we played? And we're winning 1-0, 80th minute. He's dilly-dallied on the ball and then he's been dispossessed. I mean, I threw the water, pressed the water bottle, throwing the water bottle option at him in the game in the change room. But you need to be accustomed to this, really. You know, you need to be. It happens. There's no shame in it. You know, look at Bellerin, one game that probably made or broke him. And even though we did well in the game and he did a get back when he got torn a new one by Douglas Costa, he had to rewrite. This is the real world of football, people. But yeah, man. Hopefully it's Amazon. Let's call that youth news. Yeah. I'm saying, you lot on fire, man. You lot missed me these last 2 days on YouTube, innit? You lot missed me. Aww. So yeah, man. But we was all gas for Villa. I was gas for Villa, bro. Like, bro, they were them games. You see them £5-10 games at the Emirates. We was going there, Villa doing his little chips. He just weren't strong enough, man. Yeah, this I know you don't know what you're talking about, bro. Man said Antony has been linked by Barca and Bayern Munich. The only thing Arsenal can offer him is a better sporting project. So Arsenal can't get him, but we can offer him a better sporting project than Barcelona and Bayern Munich. And you see what Xavi's doing there. Come on now. Arsenal don't have a better sporting project than Barcelona. I'm flipping Bayern Munich. Come on, man. You're never making sense what you're saying. I see what you try to make, but it never made sense. I need to, man. What's your assessment of Kiddo Taylor Hart? Bad boy footballer. Been, like kind of with KHAYON, been robbed this season with injuries. Last season he showed what he's on when he gets an opportunity. I genuinely think if he kept playing like that, then I think he would have been on the bench and involved and all these things when you see our youth football. But this is part and parcel of a season. He's had a mad injury off the back of last season. Fantastic. Signed a new deal. It keeps perspective and he's back fit now. Probably just need to let the man get fit. But yeah, these things are needed. Like Tyrese John-Jules, I think he's back end of this month in early May based on reports. Injuries, it's unfortunate, but part and parcel, man. And I like to see all the development. Like even Brook, he's had good and bad games for Lincoln. He's had to cope with playing away. He's seen what happens when you let people rattle you. His red card got rescinded, but he got sent off because he let a more experienced player kind of get into his head. This is all better for me than 23's football. Like Balogun probably has more self-awareness now than he'll ever have. And I can't blame him. You are going to think you're not that you should. I'm not saying he's not good, but if everybody on the socials and whatnot saying how great you are, you're smacking up every team you're playing, you're going to have a false sense of ability. If I try a certain thing at 23's level in the first team and the defender's stronger than me, quicker than me, a better reader of me, marking's better, I can't get out his pocket, I'm going to think, fucking hell, bloody hell, man. That was tough. Look at Eddie and Nketiah. The lessons that, respectfully to Eddie, Arsenal need to learn from them lessons because he didn't get enough football. Him and Nelson stagnated and didn't ultimately get enough football that was required. So it's brazy. Do you think hope is lost for reset Arsenal? Listen, I back my Halen boys, so I'd say no, but it's looking like you probably got to go somewhere. You can settle down roots for a season. You're going to be part of that first team and develop and things like that. I badly want it to happen for Nelson, man. I'll do everything I could, but reality is he's got a year left on his deal. Hasn't set while we hear Feyenoord want to keep him, hasn't necessarily set the world alight or done an absolute mazza. So it's going to be interesting. Arsenal might say, do you know what? If we get a certain offer, academy prospect, played a number of times, won FA Cup, might keep it moving. You'd imagine him and Reece Nelson, him and Ainsley Maitland-Niles, sorry, it's a myth. As you would at 18 years of age. There's a lot like them and there after. Listen, Patino, Omari, Flores, Mika Berev, as someone who, I don't know more than anyone, but as someone that watches you football, they're all great. But naturally, there's a lot they're going to have to learn in terms of speed of thought, physicality, application, consistency and high performance if they are to make careers, not just at Arsenal, but at the Premier League or whatever. Come on, man. DG got COVID, working from home, give me strength. Come on, you're stronger than you already know, man. You got this. Do you have a show with Ransom Matisse today? No, it's not Thursday, broski. Nah, man, you can think Balogun's underrated. And to be fair, if they're saying that about Balogun, then we're in the good We're in the good runs. And to be fair, I like what Balogun's done since he's went there. Man said 301 votes, 116 likes. Some of you are stingy. Trust. But then they want Arsenal to spend unexpected high bills due. And if they're stingy, the money man will be there. If Arsenal don't make top four, I personally won't be mad, but I'll be mad because it'll be gutting. But I won't. But I can see other fans throwing their toys out the pram. It's actually a massive achievement to be where we are at this point of the season. See, this is where I kind of like, not you, but I think people lack balance. I mean, there's no achievement. Like of course Arsenal used to be Calam. Our season started Calam and it's doing a bit better. So we've clawed back our season, but I wouldn't say there's any achievement. You know, I'm definitely better than what we're doing, but we've not achieved anything. Football ends tomorrow. You don't get awards for finishing fourth, let alone being in the talks of finishing fourth. That being said, I do agree with you in that, you know, it could have been a lot worse. You know, regardless, it's been clawed back. So I'd be a bit gutted if we don't get top four, but I won't, like, it won't be the end of the world per se, isolated to the period where we've been talking about it to messing it up. But I wouldn't say it's a massive achievement. But as you know, Arsenal fans, we're always 2-3 games away from crisis. You know, everybody loves Arteta now. Everyone's going to be onto him if something happens. And I'm not talking about positive or negative criticism where it applies. We all know what agendas and them things there. Do you think Aziz is the real deal? Will he make it at Arsenal? I don't know for real deal in any of these things. What I know is Miguel Aziz looks like a very cultured player, very good player. And I do have hopes he can make it at Arsenal. Probably just need to see a bit more, but I have hopes. Appreciate you, S, for supporting the thing across Twitch and YouTube. What positions do you think Arsenal need to strengthen? Number 8, so centre mid, up front. If you could bring in a backup right back, I wouldn't mind a winger that could legitimately challenge Saka for a place and complicate things for Arteta even more. I would say backup keeper, but we've got Matt Turner. I can't verify Matt Turner's thing. I've never seen him, man. Probably does. Probably does. It wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, man. Obviously, I keep saying it. Now let's get into some transfer news. One love to you lot, man. Feels like we ain't been here for a minute. And again, don't forget to set your reminders for later. 123 likes. If you've hit the like button, thank you very much. God bless you lot, man. Stay blessed, stay safe. Let's keep going with this, man. Keep your opinions, etc., coming. You know, I'm not going to leave you hanging. Big up the Twitch gang. Just before we get into transfer news, I want to read this because this looked quite interesting, man. I can't see our manager taking us into the top 4. He's not the person to move us forward, especially if we hit Champions League. What's your thoughts? It's wait and see. You know, if the man gets us back into Champions League, it is what it is. What, you know, I do like what Arteta is doing, but we need to see what he's doing. You know, in relation to winning leagues and things, he hasn't got that on his CV. So we don't know if he could take us there. So we're going to have to see. It's a results-driven business. If you get us back into Europe, not really going to pat you on the back because you finished 8th last year, but okay, cool. We've now next season, the gloves are off. This season, if you can get us to the champs, we deserve to at least see what you're about. I mean, I don't want Europa League football. I hate Europa League, but if we're there in it. Like, that's what you've qualified for, in it. Like, I don't want it. I want to hear the champion, of course, but like, it's a bad thing. Like, if it happens, it happens. If not, you know, I'm just gonna have to sit here and waffle about all the young players that could and should get chances in that, isn't it? So it's one of them ones there, really. I hope Arteta can take us, but he showed me the building blocks, he showed me ambition, but it's bigger than Arteta. You know, it's just, you look at the 3 clubs we talked about trying to get top 4. It's bigger than Arteta, it's bigger than Kroenke, it's bigger than whoever the hell, you know, is going to be at United. If United don't fix things off the field, then it doesn't matter who they sign or what the manager's thoughts are, because he's not going to be supported. If Conte is not supported all the way, then it's a myth for what Spurs want to do. Same way with Poch. Poch got them to a limit where you could see, you get Spurs 1 or 2 wavy players, they might at the time have done something. When they had a prime Kyle Walker, the 2 Belgium centre-halves and the rest of it. Arsenal, I have no doubt about Arteta. And what I mean by that is, I don't know if you're going to take us to the promised land, but I do think you got good tactics. I like your ideas and things. It's off the field. I don't know what man are going to do. I don't know what Edu's on. I don't know if Kroenke wants to really get top 4. And then if we get top 4, are you going to, you know, get complacent? Or are you going to say, you know what, Arteta, go and grab X, Y, Z. Let's make sure we can cement this, because Everyone else is going to strengthen. While United are restructuring, while Spurs might to a degree need a restructure, and Conte's a bit subjective. While what's going on with Chelsea, can we use this period to solidify our thing and then, you know, by a year or two that we can do something again? You know, Liverpool, again, if Klopp leaves in 2024, again, they're building for the future, but you never know what's going to happen. We brought players in. If we can marry it with quality, we might be able to accelerate the process and take advantage of what other people are doing. But I don't know if that's the case at Arsenal. I don't know if those above Arteta are on that. So it's one of them ones, really. I don't know. You know, it's all about, and arguably, we live in a day and age where it's not managers anymore. Arteta just become Arsenal's manager. It's all head coach, head coach, head coach. So a team should be set in a way that, obviously, it's not to this. Of course, managers will do it separately, but Arsenal have a philosophy where if Klopp comes in, Pep comes in, Arteta comes in, everyone does things differently, but we know what the team is about: playing, attacking football, challenging for things, etc. Look like Bayern Munich. There's certain, historically, Barca and Madrid. You know, you need to be on in short with all of them. There's certain, for Barca, there's certain footballing principles you have to adhere to. They moved away from it and they're failing. You know, there's certain things you need to do. Bayern Munich, there's a certain way of doing things. You know, Real Madrid, typically, okay, this is more of a young Real Madrid side, but there's a way of doing things. So, yeah, man, off the field is the most important. And I don't know for people off the field at this football club. I mean, I give credit where you were doing our thing, but I don't know. So I have to see, man. Crazy, man. Let's get into some transfer news because I keep saying that and we're not doing it, people. For real, for real, for real. Let's see what's going on. You know, let's type in, you know, Antony links, Antony, Oshimhen, Martinez. They're the names I remember off the top of my head. So, yeah, let's get into it, people. Let's go and see what the hell is being said. We'll leave Saliba's one and do that separately. But let's kick off with this. On the topic of Stan Kroenke, first things first, people, and you know, it's getting to that time. It's getting to that time. Hit the like button if you haven't already, people. I have to bang off the hoodie. It's getting way too hot now, man. One love to you lot for spending, you know, your morning, your afternoon, your evening, or your night with me. I appreciate all of you lot tuned in across Twitch and YouTube. I hope to have you all here for the watch along later today, people. One love to the 12 people, 13 including myself. Love for you lot, man. This is what I'm saying. Big up the Indians as well, man. Blessings right back at you, man. Shout the Indian ones, man. Sup, DG? Don't look so worried. It's only Palace. I hope so, brother. I hope so, my guy. DG, do you have any kids? First date questions? No, I haven't got any children, mate. No, I haven't. But the Brownings, you get me? The caramel ones, the lighties, you get me? That you know what to do, innit? The West Indians and everybody, you know what? Shout Africa ones as well. You know, listen. The flavor shout, man, and then who knows, man. Ask me that question in 9 months. You never know. Or you lot get me to 100k plus subscribers across YouTube and Twitch and make it financially viable. We can do the Raheem Sterling thing and start getting a football team out there. But Lobo, there's no little DG out there. I do have nieces and nephews though, you know. So a lot of my friends have kids, and I'm always at their kids' parties. I prefer to be the favorite uncle with the Ray and Neff and certain other things. Well, them lot have to look after you. So I'm kind of cool doing that. Really and truly. Getting into the transfer news, like I said, make sure you're checking the links. They're both pinned. Where should we start? I'm purposely skipping out Saliba's one because I want to make a separate timestamp. Ahead of the game, was this on the 1st of April? Ooh, I don't know. I don't trust none of this, man. This was on the 1st of April. This could be an April's Fool's thing, man. I don't know if this is an April's Fool's thing because it's on the 1st. But anyways, Arsenal owner Stan Kroenke faces embarrassment with LA Rams forced to redevelop their 3.8 billion 70,000 seater stadium just 18 months after opening, with the pitches too small to stage the 2026 World Cup. Man said Harry Kane's like Maradona. Don't care what said. Don't want to hear it. The 2026 World Cup will be co-hosted by Mexico, Canada, and the United States, people. The construction cost 3.8 billion. It hosted the Super Bowl last month, and there's issues there, people. Apparently, it's not. Long story short, it's not met FIFA's requirement to stage World Cup matches. So I wonder what that could mean for Arsenal. In most respects, the SoFi Stadium. Big up, she knows Arsenal, and you know that's going to be on Twitch if I can remember rightly. I should have a collab with her on Wednesday. I remember her talking about this stadium. Apparently, this could be a potential final venue for the 2026 tournament, which is co-hosted all over North America. The Rams are exploring options, so we'll see what happens. And they've got enough time to kind of pattern that, you'd imagine. So that's that. Allegedly, Bruno Lage has accepted that keeping Ruben Neves at the club will be a hard task when the summer transfer window opens. You know, he's a player that's contracted until 2023, much like Douglas Luiz, Basuma, Yuri Telemans, Fabian Ruiz, a lot of players that were that were consistently linked with. Now, you've actually seen David Ornstein on The Athletic say via middlemen, there's been indirect talks with Barcelona for Ruben Neves this summer, but he's always primarily linked with Arsenal and Man United, so I always want to hear what's been said. From my side, he knows my opinion. I want the best for his career. If he remains to be with us, I will for sure be happy and stronger. But this is football. When you see the level he's playing at, a big team comes with a better offer. We need to analyze what is better for us and the player. Ruben is doing a fantastic job. It's harder to find a player like him, a guy who can attack and defend. Normally, you have guys who just attack or defend. He can do both. He can score goals and he can assist. And he's quite decent over 90 minutes. Personally speaking, I would love him at the Emirates, man. I can't lie to you. I would love Ruben Neves, but I don't think it's going to happen really and truly. Rather him than Telemans, even though I think Telemans can do more wavier things. I just think over 90 minutes, his footballing IQ, ball retention, etc. is a lot better. So it looks like he's getting Barcelona, man. Yeah, it looks like the stadium's being built. It's just been built and it looks too small. But we'll have to see, man. Allegedly, well, in fact, Arsenal extensively scouting Victor Osimhen and Tottenham target Lautaro Martinez, people, as you lot can see here. CBS Sport claimed that he and Napoli frontman Osimhen have been scouted extensively by the Gunners as they weigh up their options before the transfer window swings open at the end of the season. Now, we've been linked with Lautaro Martinez for a significant period of time. Likewise, we've known about Osimhen since he was 16, 17 when he was playing at the Under-17s World Cup. You know, so I can't imagine we didn't track him when he was at Wolfsburg, when he was at Lille, and obviously now that he seems to have gone up a level and be at Napoli, you know, of course we're going to be scouting. We was linked with Tammy Abraham last year. You'd imagine we kept scouting him for a year. Isaac the same, Jonathan David, apologies people, we've known since his days in Belgium. So sometimes you've got to take things with a pinch of salt. Sometimes watching players doesn't mean you're necessarily going to move for them, but for what it's worth, I do think these lot are two of the higher targets. I do think you two, Tammy Abraham would probably be, and now probably Darwin Núñez in fourth. Four of the guys, or the first three I said, the more likely ones. As I've said, I would prefer if you could sign a tier A striker that Arsenal have been linked with. And what I mean by is like the Lautauros, the Osimhens, and then get a David and things like that. It would be amazing. I'm taking either one as well, man. I'm taking either one. Brother, Barella's wavy, but they're the man you got to sign before they touch Inter. Like once they touch Inter, it's a myth. You know, on the best of days, them Italian men are cool in their league. Like PSG did the right thing with Verratti. Once he ends up at Juventus or them things there, he's not busting out. So unless you're gonna spend the bag, I would love it. I love his technical level. I love the fact that, you know, he's always on fighting people. Like I love it. So yeah, we've been linked with both these strikers. We're scouting them intensely. I mean, you'd imagine all the scouting's done. Like the bulk of what this guy's strengths and weaknesses, or both of them allegedly is, you'd imagine we know it by now. You know, what more scouting is there to do? Okay, majority of his goals are headed. Majority of his goals are with the left peg. His movement is better. His link-up play is better. He can improve here. He can improve there, you know. And as I always say, man, need to know the weaknesses, because how are you going to get them to the next level, you know? And it goes with Telemans the same, and all these other guys saying that. Out of all the people involved that Arsenal's been linked with in the weekend, you know me, people, I'm still on the James Maddison hype, and he was a bad boy against United. I don't know what problems he solves. We probably don't potentially need him there, but I'm taking James Maddison and I'm running that agenda. Let's actually see the actual article, people. Osimhen and Lautaro viewed continuously. Again, Google Translate. Arsenal have climbed the rankings to consolidate themselves in fourth position. Among the reasons for the ascent, Mikel Arteta's use of Partey in the middle of the field, finally entering the heart of the Gunners game. And it's talking about Aubameyang, but you know, specifics. If Arsenal were to keep a Champions League place until the end of the season, it would be yet another club from which the Italian teams will have to guard and defend themselves in the transfer market. According to CBS, in fact, the Gunners continue to monitor the situations at home in Naples and Inter regarding Victor Osimhen and Lautaro Martinez. One of the two would serve, in fact, to begin a new offensive course after the buffer solution up front found by Arteta, with Lacazette as the first striker, flanked by a young Smith Rowe and Saka. The strikers of Naples and Inter, the first choices, David, Calvert-Lewin, and Isaac, the alternatives. Now, with Isaac, it's the finances. I wouldn't mind someone who's a bit more raw with like Isaac if you sign the Osimhen's and Martinez's, but I just think Isaac will struggle in the first 6 months to 18 months. I feel he's got everything I look for, link up play, etc., but he's still quite raw. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I don't think he's the worst. If Everton really go down or if they're in financial issues, then I don't mind undertaking him. We've scouted Jonathan David. Edu's allegedly met with him. That's someone I wouldn't mind in the squad. Now, would it serve David's chances being a second choice? Would it boost Calvert-Lewin's England chances? Is that necessarily something Isaac wants to do? We heard he's on Barcelona. Joining Barcelona, people, so we will have to really see what happens in that regards. But yeah, I would love both, but it would probably cost too much before you talk about a number 8. So allegedly these are the alternatives. The profile that the London club is looking for is that of a prolific striker who is still relatively young but with a track record already established in the best European leagues, which all of these strikers carry a risk. You know, for Osimhen, does he bag against the bigger teams? You know, for Martinez, has he got 20 league goals to his name? You know, for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, will he necessarily fit the style? Do you have to play a certain way? Jonathan David, is he ready to take the step up and be the club's first choice striker? Is that the same? They're all going to present a risk, you know. But as long as you know their weaknesses and taking them to the next level, then it is what it is, because we kind of got to catch these players in all positions before they become these household guys, like, if that makes sense. So that's what that article is saying. Whether there's any truth, I don't know. We'll get back to this one in a second. I think that's more general news. Arsenal in race to sign Antony. Spurs no longer in the running. Arsenal are in the race to sign Antony from Ajax, while an Italian publication has reported Spurs have asked for more information before signing Kulusevski. Scrolling all the way down, apparently, as you know, Arsenal, City, United are all admirers of Antony. It's noted that Ajax would only want £38 million, and it looks like he'll follow Ten Hag to United or go to one of these other clubs. Antony's signing would be a brilliant way for Arsenal to celebrate returning to Europa League football. I'd say number 8 for me. I'm not too sure I believe that 38 million price is a bit cheap for someone with the Premier League clubs interested. I don't know. But from one Brazilian to a next, shout out to Arsenal's women's team as they won 5-0 against Leicester City, by the way. I've got to take an interest in all of it, man. Edu wants to sign 17 million Brazil star for Arsenal after Tottenham bid failed last summer. Arsenal could make a move to sign Shakhtar the next defender Dodo as they seek to bring a new right back to the Emirates. He's all right from what I've seen, but yeah, it claims Arsenal are in the mix. Bournemouth have been linked. Bayern Munich have been linked. 17 million, I'm not too sure. It feels a bit strong, you know, but we've been linked. And as we know, there's things going on geopolitically that are affecting Russian and Ukrainian players that Arsenal and Premier League teams don't appear to be able to take advantage of, because Burnley were denied the chance of signing Victor Moses, I'm sure. So can't really get him really and truly. But Arsenal allegedly are positioning themselves for him, you know, which again, surely that would spell the end of Cedric's time at the club. You'd imagine between Cedric and Ben White at right back, someone's got to do something differently. As you already know, Arsenal close to agreeing long-term contract with prolific academy wonder kid. I mean, Samuel Media publication could be a bit stronger, be a bit less, but allegedly it looks like KHAYON Edwards might sign a new deal. He's been linked with him, Brooke, Amari, they've all been at Chelsea, been linked with Chelsea again, been linked with Leeds, been linked with Newcastle, been linked with Germany as well. So it would be a bit peak. So if he is to sign a new deal, fair play, man, and we want KHAYON to stay. You lot should check out my interview I did with him about 2 years or so ago. So yeah, Martinelli's bigged up Odegaard. What else is there? What's this? Tammy Abraham has said he has unfinished business in the Premier League. I don't think he's going to return this summer. He said, when I see reports linking me with other clubs, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel you're doing something right. It's a nice feeling seeing your name all over the newspapers. But for me, it's about focusing on doing my business here. I keep getting linked with how many clubs, but who knows what the future holds. Of course, I grew up in England and I'm a London boy. So maybe one day I'll be back in the Premier League to make noise there. But for me right now, it's about focusing in Rome. It's about focusing on doing the best I can. And hopefully I can win these guys a trophy, which they haven't won in many years. And, you know, they've given you a platform. Roma would want to sell you back to the English market at a profit. Next year, Chelsea's buyback clause becomes active, where being a Cobham lad, I'm sure he'd love another crack at the whip there. Or if he does his job, he can play elsewhere. So, yeah, man, and he's someone we've continuously been linked with. But in terms of transfer news, I think that's that, people, before we look at generally what's been going on with Arsenal Football Club. One love to you lot. Don't forget. Again, they probably are. This is why I say I don't know for any of this, man. We're just talking about what's been linked, man. Really and truly. That's where it starts and ends. I mean, everyone's probably looking at thingy, man, looking at Declan Rice, but it's the price tag, man. From David Moyes' eye, he's saying £150 million. He's moving very breezy, isn't he? Apparently, Saliba had spoken as well, which again, it could be positive news, really. Let's see exactly what's going on here. William Saliba on his future. I want to be a starter. He said, I think an interview asked him, would finishing in a Champions League spot affect whether you stay on for another year? It would definitely be better having qualified for the Champions League. If I leave without having sent the club to the Champions League, it would be an unfinished season. I'd be disappointed. Do you have any news from Arsenal? They're in contact with my agent. They send me messages, which we do like to hear there's contact. They watch my games. They tell me I need to carry on like this. I haven't played a lot with the Gunners or at all. You know, you got sent off for our 23s and you played against MK Dons in pre-season. The manager made his choice. That's life. I left on loan. I'm playing a lot of matches, and thanks to my performances, I've become a full international, which is true. What happened to me has seen me forge a stronger mentality. It's not because you cost 30 million euros that you're going to play. I see things positively. Even when there are moments where you ask yourself questions for 6 months, I could see I was the only one in the squad that wasn't playing. That would hurt. Do you see yourself returning to Arsenal as a substitute? I definitely can't settle for being on the substitute bench at Arsenal and being happy with it. I want to be a starter. But then if I do get into the rotation as a substitute, it wouldn't be like staying with the under-23s and never being in the team. He said, this club and these fans are amazing. So I want to make the most of it until the end of the season, as though I'm not coming back. There are 2 months left. I want to savor each moment, notably in home games. Then we'll see. If I do come back, it'll be with the greatest pleasure. So I think he seems a bit more upbeat on his Arsenal chances there. But I just have a feeling that we haven't seen all of the comments that has been said. They were in L'Équipe, allegedly. That tells me that, okay, one thing I liked about that is that we're in contact with his agents and that he probably will get an opportunity and he's prepared to, you know, he's not asking for divine rights to be a star. He just wants to know he's having a fair crack at the whip and potentially getting a look in. You know, that's what I got from it. And I'd say that's the most positive bit of Saliba news, where everywhere it's an issue. That tells me someone that's able to buy this time. He's no idiot. He must know at Arsenal, you know, Ben White and Gabriel are the first choices. Go and complicate things. Saliba doesn't seem like he runs from competition. But at the same time, you know, he's someone that, for me, is understanding the realities of football. You know, if Arsenal, for whatever reason, don't want to give me a chance, even though I thought they would have, all right, cool. I'm going to go elsewhere and do my thing, people. And as you can see with this article, you know, and you have to be patient because you're not going to probably get a chance early on, and your French squad place may be affected. But how close to the French team are you? You're clearly one that they've got on the earmarks because you're doing well, but you did get in the team on a technicality in which you could use that to forge your way. Deschamps has seen you up close. But as you can see, you know, he would be willing to accept a rotation role, and he's only 21. Once again, of course, I can't just be on the bench at Arsenal and be happy. I want to play as a starter. After that, if I get into the rotation as a substitute, it's not like playing with the under-23s and never being in the squad. Saliba was, you know, Arteta quoted Don Saliba and said, we are aware of what he's doing now. He's developing. He's our player. We are really happy with the decision that we've made because the exposure, the minutes, responsibility and growth at his age is something we could not guarantee this season. It makes a lot of sense what's happening with him, and we're glad to see him the way he's improving. So, Yeah, that's that, man. And potentially we could have a Rolls Royce of a defender, a Tesla, and a serious Ferrari in Gabriel, Ben White, and Saliba. And then you've got, headache for Mikel Arteta. So it's good to see. Yeah, man. One love to you lot tuned in. Keep hitting the like button. Exactly. And I think if he's given a fair opportunity to earn that, then I think that's case closed. But Arsenal might say, you know what, 27 million, he's building admirers. Whether he might or might not sign a contract, we might keep it moving, which may be selling him too early. Because even if you did want to sell him, could it be worth him potentially going out on loan again if you do want to sell him? With it being a World Cup year, maybe playing at the World Cup and solidifying your place. What are you saying, DJ? If we lose to Crystal Palace, top four is actually a dog race. Well, it's a bitter pill to swallow. It's a massive blow to the top four race, but we need to get on. You could. I would say 4 points is something to maneuver with this week, but anything less than six points in this next week is crazy. Of course, it added fuel to the fire, man. And I wouldn't just say 23. He's just not having the opportunity. Like us, he must have been baffled. What's going on at Arsenal with me? But you've got to take it in your stride. There's always a lesson, man. And you learn more with failure or things not going your way than obviously it working for you, fortunately or unfortunately. So it's a brazy one. So yeah, that's that with Saliba. Should we see what's going on in terms of just general Arsenal things and pieces, people? Which again, if we remove that, how long is this article? No way. Oh shit, this is what I meant to. Where is it? There was an interest. I was reading an article on CBS Soccer, and it was interesting. There was an interest. Shout out James Benj, who I've had on this channel before. It's his article actually. There was something very interesting about Thomas Partey. Where is it, man? Apparently, behind the scenes, Partey was determined to change things. According to training ground sources, the 28-year-old began undertaking additional sessions of his own accord in December, working to strengthen muscles that had broken down all too often in his first season at the club. Boy. Apparently, after a tough start to life at Arsenal and in London, he has begun to settle in the British capital. Those who know him well speak about how finding a Ghanaian community on his home in his new house has made him feel more comfortable at ease. He has similarly found a new role at London Coley, where he's become an increasingly vocal presence in the dressing room, which is what, first and foremost, that's what we need, because you're one of the most experienced players. You're here for now. It's like Van Dijk, Alisson, them guys they're there for now with Liverpool. They can talk about the future, but they're there for now. We need our players now. And that's where this season or this turn of the year, why I'm happy to see Partey, Cedric, Leno, people of different squad roles doing well, because we need our experienced players, whether you're going to play 1 game or 10 games a season to stand up to be counted. And it's nice to see, you've taken accountability of your season. We all know famously said 4 out of 10. Just like when Saka said Arsenal demand better, and they've both seen an uptake. I think there's more clarity over the squad collectively and individual roles, and Partey's benefited, and it could only get better if we grab a number 8. Obviously, he's done additional work. He's, things off the ground. I don't want to speculate because he's never actually. Mo made a great comment on the stream and said Partey's never actually come out and said he's reverted to Islam and become a Muslim. Ramadan Mubarak to everyone, fasting at the moment as well. But, you see him, if we take the rumors, finding his way in terms of who he is as a person, forget a footballer, getting comfortable off the field in England, finding a Ghanaian community, doing things off the field in terms of faith, allegedly, and things are going into are clicking. So you want to see long may that continue. You want to see more of that, and Partey's finally looking like the Atletico Madrid player we spent 45 million euros on. So shout out to him, man. You put in the work. You don't always see it, but you see the fruits of your labor. And when certain players have not improved, it's crazy. Away from that, as I said, Marcelo Flores allegedly it will be in the Crystal Palace team. Mikel Arteta says the only mind games he intends to play over the season's running will be with his own players. He's rejected the temptation to engage in speculation with his counterparts over the outcome. I think he responded to Conte and said, I don't know. That is a question for him. But what we want to do is very clear, and the perception of what people think is not going to change it. I do it more with my own players. I think I do it more with my own players if I have to. And then he went on to say, in relation to the game on tonight, There's nothing different. They've already been dealing with it for weeks, because this conversation we have had now for over 6 to 8 weeks. They have already been through that and have responded really, really well. So there's nothing new, because they've already been doing it and capable of doing it. Facts. In relation to the experienced players, kind of carrying on what we've been saying, he said, this is football. It's not an individual sport. When he's been playing for 10 plus years, that someone has been doing. Sorry, what? This is not making sense. When he has been doing playing, I think they mean when he's been playing for 10 years, that someone has been there for waiting for that opportunity. And I have a lot of sympathy of every player that doesn't play and doesn't get the chances they probably deserve. But unfortunately, that's the game. Exactly. This is where, for me, to a degree, I don't care that Lokonga, Tavares, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, a lot of these guys are not playing. Like, we want 3 points first, then is what it is. Life's not fair. If life was fair, we'd have a lot less. You know, if football was fair and it wasn't necessarily about who's worth more, Saka would have a lot less minutes, but we'd probably have a lot less points, because Saka, Smith Rowe, etc. Their points are correlated to our goals 9 times out of 10. Our goals are correlated to their points, or whatever. You know what I mean? This is football, which is true, and it's not an individual sport. That's true. 25 games, 25-man squad, 38 games minimum. He's done a very similar thing to Cedric and Pepe, not accepting the situation, but trying to improve it. And then he's been consistent in the way he's trained, the way he's behaved, and in those months waiting for an opportunity. And when he had it, to take it. Fair play. What else is there? I think Mikel Arteta bigged up the fans as well. In relation to, once again, if you don't know, Arteta got Premier League Manager of the Month. Obviously, it gives me a sense of pride, because I know how difficult it is to do it in this league. But we've done that, not only with the coaching staff, but all the staff that are here at Coley. Obviously, the players too have to perform and win football matches in order to be recognised for that. Then, especially to our fans, for the way they have transformed the team, they deserve a lot of credit. My gratitude goes to everyone who helps in their way and in the best possible way to try to win football matches, which is the reason why we're here today. It's the seventh time in Premier League history that an Arsenal boss has won the honour. And it's the first time the club has won the honour twice in the same campaign since 07-08. So, yeah, large up them, man. Which is a good look, but let's keep going, and let's keep going, I would say. So, yeah, I think with that, obviously Doherty, who's an Arsenal fan, you know, and I hope you remember that, he's warned Arsenal that Tottenham have clicked under Conte and said they're not feeling the pressure of moving into fourth place. We don't feel the pressure. We are feeling the excitement. We feel really confident at the moment. We feel like everyone is on the top of their game. We're going into matches thinking we're going to win, to the point where we just can't wait to play the next game. It shoots us into fourth. We've done our job. We've done our job. We've had an inspired display against Newcastle, especially in the second half. But we just have to look after our own games. We know we still have to play Arsenal. We are going to think for every game of the season that it's a must win, and we can't afford to slip up. It's nice that we have done our job first this weekend. Let's just see if the results go our way tonight. All right, cool. And he went on to say, Conte wants us to play a certain type of football, and you can see that we are doing that. It is really exciting football. We look a real threat going forward. We look solid. Although I know we conceded yesterday, we're carrying out what he wants us to carry out. We'll be pretty happy with that performance. We're in a really good rhythm. The second half was electric. We knew that at halftime, we said just to stay calm, trust in our ability, trust our process, and chances would come. But it looked in the second half like we might score every time. It was pretty exciting. Crazy. So that's that. That's what our rivals are saying. So he is somewhat right, and let's just focus on what we need to do, to be honest. You know, just focus on what we're doing, and we'll have the conversation. Arsenal to win the Champions League next season. Arsenal on a real thing. Can you win? Can you see a win tonight? I'm not that so raven. I can't predict the future, man. If we turn up, if we've really done our due diligence on Crystal Palace and we've worked hard, then we have half a chance. Other than that, I can't predict the future. Should Crystal Palace be considered a game that you should be taking 3 points with, as much as they're playing well? Yeah, man. What time is the play-in today? 8 o'clock kickoff. Big up Rochelle. Nice to see some players taking accountability for their performances. In life, you take accountability, things get better, man. Fair play to Saliba, a blessed player, but I can't see this manager giving him the pitch, giving him time on the pitch. I think you mean to say for game time. i.e. replacing him for White or Gabriel. If he does his job, he'll get his chance. And then once you get an opportunity to wear the Arsenal shirt, don't let people take it off you. Big up to, we spoke about this on Twitch. Shout out Jack Grealish for getting the Gucci sponsorship. Oh, I hope you're doing well and safe. Shout out the members, moderators, long-term subscribers, etc., etc., etc. Without you, like, it'd be pointless, man. Boy. Pep said he's going to overthink the game versus Atletico, probably running banter. And don't forget, Tuesday, Wednesday on Twitch, watch-alongs for the Champions League. I think Newcastle were naive in their pressing game. Of course, when they had a low block, Spurs weren't saying anything. The minute you open up, play a high line, Spurs with Son, Kane, Kulusevski, etc., you play silly games, you're going to win silly prizes, and they're going to score and cut you open. And then, yeah, like already when it's like 3-4, 5-1, I'm seeing Jamal Lascelles coming like, Eddie, what's going on, man? Like I said, didn't deserve that. That's why I don't get too excited. We can still finish 6th this season. Whatever narrative we want, we'll go to it, man. Waffle, these man get one result against a terrible Newcastle and are trying to convince themselves they're decent. Listen, let Spurs have the favourites and all of those sort of things tagged. You know, let's just keep doing what we're doing. So you go into a watch along tonight. It's like people choose to not listen, bro. Like, yes. Top 5 favorite athletes in the world. That's a question for either Siri or Google, bro. I don't know. I'd have to guess Messi and Ronaldo are up there. I don't know past that. LeBron's got to be up there somewhere. Other than that, I don't have a clue, bro. Of course we do. You know, we've got to play Spurs. We've got to play United. We've got to play Chelsea. We've got to play Chelsea. Ooh, let me try. I can do this off the top of my head. United, Chelsea, Spurs, Newcastle. Keep saying Newcastle. West Ham, Chelsea, United, Spurs. Yeah, man. Bare big games. And then we've got to go to, you know, Newcastle were poor in their last game. They're not going to be like that at St. James's. What just broke as well? Oh, I got that mug for free as well. You lot can't see, but I've got like a desk here. And it's got things I've been given for free. I thought the mug that I've never used broke, but it's calm. So yeah, we've got a lot of tough games and difficult away games and the rest of it. But I guess that's the beauty of the Premier League, man. Is as the games go on and on and on and on, it's gonna get more nerve biting, man, and more nerve wracking and nail biting and scary. Really, it's quite scary. Like, but it is what it is. What shall be, man. You know, all you can do is apply yourself, and then the rest of the world takes care of it, man. So yeah, on that note, though, I'm gonna go have lunch. I'm gonna try and do some videos for you lot, and then obviously I'll see you lot at 7 p.m. across YouTube and Twitch, people. Don't forget to set your reminders. Again, it's been a fantastic 2 live streams. Obviously, we was on Twitch just before this. One love to you lot, and we're here now. We've obviously looked at the general talking points. We've spoken about Arsenal in general. We've talked about top form. We've covered the transfers. Make sure you're here at 7 p.m. Make sure you've set your reminders and hit a like button. Don't forget it's Monday. So in terms of your goals, hopes, dreams, ambitions, and aspirations in your personal life, stay fit and stay healthy and stay attacking them and whatnot, man. And hopefully come Friday, we can all celebrate. But on that note, I'm out, man. I'm out. What else have I got to say? You lot, a pleasure again to be here day in, day out. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. We're flirting with 50,000. We just need one big push. Same goes for Twitch, where the goal is 10,000.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on.